It's the biggest change that I can think of that Facebook's made to like a core functionality in a really long time.
I don't know about you guys, but I got a whole flurry of emails about this whole Facebook pages changing thing. And I went out and I clicked on the links and I downloaded the PDFs and I started reading stuff and I started freaking out. And so I thought, we should probably talk to Elizabeth about this.
For sure. It's a big change, but I don't think we're at freak out level. It's all going to be okay.
Oh, okay. But I don't know if that makes me feel warm and fuzzy or still like I want to go hide underneath like an ostrich or something. But so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the changes that are coming down the pipe with the Facebook pages changes.
Say that 5 times fast.
Facebook pages changes, Facebook pages changes. Okay. And what that means to you. So I'm going to pretend to be you because I really am you because I'm not a social media expert. And we're going to interview Elizabeth, and she's going to let us know all about it. So let's get to business. You're on a mission, and you just need more people to know about it. And whether you're brand new to marketing or a seasoned pro, we are all looking for answers to make marketing decisions with purpose. I'm Monica Pitts, a techie, crafty business owner, mom, and aerial dancer who solves communication challenges through technology. This podcast is all about digging in and going digital. I'll share my marketing know-how and business experience from almost 20 years of misadventures. I'll be your backup dancer, so you can stop doubting and get moving towards marketing with purpose. Okay, so before I get into my Facebook hate fest, which I'm going to try to keep it positive because, you know, hate is a pretty strong negative emotion. So instead, we're going to try to keep it positive. Elizabeth is going to keep it positive. Elizabeth, tell us about you.
Sure. As stated several times now, I'm Elizabeth, and I've been with Make Create almost a year now. And I was counting it up the other day. I've actually been working in social media in some capacity for like the last 10 years. It was pretty much my job straight out of college. So I've seen many iterations of Facebook and what the changes do to everything. And then when I'm not doing that, I work in Facebook for a theater here in town, so not a whole lot different. I'm also the artistic director at a community theater, so I help pick the shows and perform in a few of them, and it's a great time.
So you are in charge of multiple social media accounts here at Make Create. Ours is one of them. And when I got all these emails from Facebook, of course, my heart rate picked up, and then I went and poured another cup of coffee, and then my heart rate got even higher. And then I was like, Elizabeth, what is going on? So why don't you just give us the big level overview? What does it mean that the pages are changing?
Sure. So the first indication that your page has converted is you will get a screen full of confetti, which we do like. We like the confetti part of it. That says, congratulations, you're part of the new page experience, which sounds fun and also scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to look a whole lot different than the page experience you're familiar with, so you're not going to have to relearn what things are called or where they are for the most part. Everything's where you're used to seeing it. But there are some changes to some functionality, how people can find your page and that sort of thing. And so those are the changes that I think people's hairs on the back of their neck are raising up about is, am I going to lose my followers? Am I going to lose my content? How am I going to manage this? And all of that. And you're not going to lose your content. There's some changes to likes and follows, but you're not going to lose a whole bunch of people probably. And we're going to figure out the rest. It'll all be good.
So my first question about that flip over is it mandatory? Has everybody already flipped, or is it something that they're rolling in gradually? How do you know?
It appears to be a slow and random rollout of the pages that I work with daily. One of the 8 or so that I manage has converted. So not all of them have yet. I know some people got the option to convert their page to the new page experience a few months ago, but you could opt out of it at that time. But much like other Facebook changes, they tell you after you opt out, it's well, you can opt out until this date and time, and then you're going to be converted. So you can't avoid the change forever. But you may be able to avoid it for a little bit longer if you're really wanting to hold out.
Now the change, I went in and I clicked on a page
and it said, do you want to convert it? And I was like, well, I really want to see what it looks like and what happens. And so I converted it and I clicked. And you know what? It was fast. Like the clicking. Click. Switch. And I could find everything. Like I really could. Like it didn't feel weird. Like they recently changed groups from a moderator level. It looks quite a bit different now. But from the normal user level, it looks still normal to them. But I felt like the pages didn't seem that weird. So what are some of the differences that we'll notice, you think?
Some menus may be in a slightly different order than you're used to or called a slightly different thing, but it's still going to be fairly intuitive. Like you'll have settings, you know what to do with that, or moderate. Again, you'll know what to do with that if you've been working in a page on that side of things for a while now. So those are some of the small kind of cosmetic changes. And you might have more tabs across the top of your page. So instead of everything kind of being condensed into just a few, you'll have more options across the top of your page. But similarly to how it works now, you can choose which ones of those you want to display publicly.
Yeah, it didn't look that different when I was in there. But what's interesting is I feel like every time I go out into Facebook, I kind of have to relearn the interface because it's changed just enough that it's not where I thought it was anyway. Google does the same thing, though. It's just a continual. Okay, back to positive things-ish. Okay, so one of the things that we talked about before clicking record was the different permissions changes that are coming down and how we think they actually are going to be good and then annoying all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of this change, especially for any organizations out there who have people who want to help a little bit with social media or who want to help a lot of it. And you're like, I appreciate that, but no.
Yes.
We all know those people. So what we're going to see is a shift from the current admin, moderator, editor levels to two different types of access. Those of us who are admins and moderators will be under what is referred to as Facebook access level. You know, super easy name to just rolls off the tongue. And you'll keep all of your regular permissions. So anything you're able to do now, you'll continue to be able to do. What will change is editor and below access levels. Those are now task access levels. And so you can assign people various tasks. So let's say you have someone who you think would be great to help create events. You can assign them event task level, and that is all they have access to. Or if you want someone to help manage a group that your page manages, you can give them that access level and no more. And so you can really kind of chunk out how people can help assist you to whatever best suits your needs.
That might be good, especially if you have a lot of people commenting and you want people to respond to comments or direct messaging you. Then having people that specifically take care of that, I think would be beneficial.
Yeah, if you've got someone who's a great customer service, always happy to help, and is really great with the people you interact with every day, give them messenger access level and let them run with that.
I think that makes a lot of sense because when I think about the access I want to give somebody to a website or to a network, I think, oh, I want them to be able to do these things. I don't think, oh, they should be an editor level access. Like, what does that even mean? So I do like that they switched it to this. I think this is good. So then when I'm editing the information, so back in the day, I used to always have to go into an app that was the Pages app on my phone. But then I could do editing through the normal like Facebook app. How did what change? Is anything changing?
A little bit. If you've been an admin or a moderator, basically you're not seeing any change in how you can access what you need to. You can still go in through your normal Facebook app, or if you use the Creator Studio app or the business app, those all still work. If you have someone you're assigning a task access level, they cannot do their tasks through the regular Facebook app. They're going to have to do the Meta Business app or the Creator Studio app. So that is a little bit of a barrier to entry, but nothing too crazy. And that's just for mobile. If you're on your desktop, it's going to stay very similar to what you're already familiar with.
So if you do have volunteers or multiple different types of users that are using your Facebook page and you want them to still be able to edit it from their phones, you have to help them get the right app to do it, because not everybody can do it through the same user interface. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, just search Meta and or Facebook in your preferred app
So for
store.
those people who don't know, what's this Meta thing? Because it started showing up and then I started looking at, I have drawn a conclusion, but I would love to hear you tell us what it is.
I'm going to try to make this as simple as I can, because otherwise I could just spend like an hour digging into it. No one wants that.
Are you sure?
I don't want that.
Okay.
Facebook, the platform itself, is still Facebook. Instagram is still Instagram. The other companies, the company formerly known as Facebook owned, are still all of those, but now they are all housed under Meta rather than the company being called Facebook.
And then Meta is the entity that sells all the advertisements on all the different networks where you can place the advertisements on.
Correct.
Okay. Because it used to be Facebook Business Manager, and now it's Meta something or another.
Yeah, I think it's like Meta Business Studio or something like that.
Why?
Why? I want a better naming person for them.
Yeah, they should hire an Elizabeth. But then I'd be really sad. Because I like having you around here. Okay, so what are some other things that are changing with this Pages rollout?
Sure. I think the other biggest change that is probably going to cause the most heart palpitations is we are going away from likes and follows on pages, and we're going back to just one. So if any of you have been working in social for a while, you know, for a long, long time, Facebook just had likes, and then we went to likes and follows, and now we're going back to just follows. So if someone currently likes and follows your page, they will come right along with you for the new pages experience, no worries. However, if someone only likes your page, they will not come with you when your page converts. So send out emails, messages, post on your page now to let people know, hey, remember to like and follow, because that really is the best way to keep informed about what the page is posting anyway, and it'll ensure that they come with you when you convert.
So tell everyone who maybe doesn't know the difference between the former like and the former follow, which are still actually relevant to the people who haven't switched yet, but once they switch will become one, but not really become one.
Right. So your like is when you go to the page, you click the thumbs up, and basically it tells the algorithm, I am somewhat interested in what this page has to say. I want to see their content every so often. If you follow the page, which you have to like click on a little 3-dot menu option, scroll a little bit and click follow, because, you know, why make that easy?
Why? Oh, it's because they want your advertising money.
Correct.
Did you hear my anger? Do you hear my anger? Okay. Keep going, Elizabeth.
So if you follow the page, essentially what that does is tell Facebook and its algorithm, I am really interested in what this page has to say. Make sure their content is always in my timeline.
Show it to me for free.
Yes. Always show it to me. Make sure I see it. This is a priority for me.
So what stinks is that the uneducated Facebook users, which is a lot of stinking people, let's be real, have been going out and liking your page, thinking that they're going to get all the information that you're posting because they want to support your business or your organization. And in actuality, they were just being like, hey, Facebook, I'd like to be a casual acquaintance with this person.
Yeah, it's like going to the farmer's market, and if you like a booth, just kind of waving at them. And if you follow them, you actually go up and say hi.
Dang. So this is a bummer. So do you know if there's a way that they can see how many likes or follows they have right now? Does it differentiate it in the analytics?
It does differentiate in the analytics, so you can go in and compare numbers. And I would say if those two numbers are real close, you're probably going to be fine. What you cannot see without taking a very deep dive and doing some like Facebook snooping of your own is who likes your page and doesn't follow it. So I wouldn't encourage you to like individually find those people and tell them to follow your page. That could get weird real quick. But you should be able to get a good idea of who likes, or like how many people like your page, how many people follow your page, and if those numbers are similar.
So if they're similar, we should be okay. And if they're really high on the like side and not high on the follow side, then we're probably going to see a big dip in engagement.
Yeah, you're going to see a shift in just the number of people who are seeing your content.
Yeah. And a lot of people have already felt that shift. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Elizabeth saw it with the community theater page. Mm-hmm. We've seen it on our own May Create Facebook page. And I just honestly believe that when it switched, we had a bunch of people that hadn't followed but just liked. And now they do not see the things. And it is very sad.
That's it. But the nice thing about keeping followers over people who just like your page is these are the people who are like, yes, I want to be here. I want to see the things. So the hope is once all of the pages have been converted to this new page experience, we should see a little bit higher engagement. But of course, Meta wants to make its money, so it's still going to want you to pay for advertisements and all that good stuff.
So reach is going to be lower, but engagement should be higher.
That's my prediction. There's not a whole lot of information out there yet about this change. It's still very new, so no one's really sure what the exact impact's going to be.
I think you're on the right hypothesis, though. That makes sense. Like if you have a bunch of people who really like you and you show them your stuff, then they are more likely to click on it, like it, comment, share it. And if you had a huge pool of people, then they would be less likely because they aren't really your true friends. So I guess in a way it's okay, but I still don't like it.
It's going to be a big shock to see that switch in numbers if people already have a lot of people who like their page but don't follow it.
Yeah. The good news is, though, is the pages that receive a lot of engagement will potentially be shown to the people who are, to the friends and acquaintances of the people who engage with it. So you do have the potential of getting some of that viral coverage still. And it might be higher because the engagement is higher. I don't know. It might not be because Facebook is a money-hungry monster who's probably going to hunt me down and fork my yard after this podcast. But there's that. Yay. Okay, are there other things that we need to watch out for?
I'd say those are the big ones. Like I said, some small cosmetic differences. I would say the only other thing to keep an eye on, and again, those of you who've been in this for a while are probably going to giggle at this, we are going back to having profiles, like full profiles for your business pages. So you'll need to toggle between your personal profile and your what is essentially business profile.
Okay, so let me try to put this in my layman's terms over here. So when I flipped this page over to the new Facebook page, it automatically changed me from interacting in Facebook as Monica Pitts, and it flipped me to that business. And then when I left the business page, I was that business. I was not Monica Pitts anymore. And so then if I interacted anywhere on Facebook, I was interacting as that business. So if you are a person that is going to go into the business page and then come back out, just realize that, you could be liking your grandma's new tennis shoes as the business and not as you, because you have to physically change it back. So Elizabeth, tell us how to change it back then.
Yeah, there are going to be a couple of different ways you can go back and forth between a business account and your personal account. One is when you go straight to Facebook, you can click on what looks like your profile picture up, and I believe it's the top right-hand corner. And it'll drop down however many pages you might manage plus your profile. You can pick whichever one you want to be that moment and go from there. And when you do that, what you'll see on your main Facebook page where you normally see posts from friends and groups you follow will turn into posts from pages your page follows or people you've liked as your page. And so hopefully, unless for whatever reason the business you're working as also likes your grandma's Facebook profile, you shouldn't run into the issue of liking your grandma's shoes from your business account. So that is one way you can switch. The other one is if you go to the page for your business, it will ask you up at the top, do you want to switch to this business account or do you want to interact as, in my case, Elizabeth? And you can hit switch now, it'll flip you over, and then you are essentially that page. And to switch back, again, you just click up at the top, pick whichever account you want to be next, and go from there.
So when I click on a page to manage it that is not in the new pages setup, I go to the page's profile. It shows me the posts that the page has made. Now, when I click on it, am I still going to go there or am I going to go to their new like newsfeed thing?
So if you are on the page and the page has not flipped yet to the new page experience, nothing's changed.
Okay.
If your page is on the new page experience, if you want to manage it in any way, you will have to switch to being the page itself. And then they'll have a little manage button up underneath your cover image that you'll click on to access all those options.
So I guess what I'm asking is whenever we have the new Facebook page, does it plunk me on my profile page for the page or am I going to go to the news feed for the page when I click on it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it depends on where you're starting from. So if you're on Monica's newsfeed and you convert to a page from that screen, you will stay on the newsfeed, but it will be for the business.
Okay. That's why it felt like that's what was going on for me. Okay. Well, and I think that's a kind of a positive thing because before it wasn't really easy to interact with stuff as your business. So your business was like this thing that pushed stuff out, but as the bit like you posted things, but you didn't really interact with stuff. You didn't really create a relationship unless you went about it the right way. And it wasn't super apparent how to do it, right? For the novice. And there's a heck of a lot of novices, right? So for them, they just kind of went about their business and interacted with Facebook as themselves, not as their business. So their business didn't benefit from that build up of relationship like their personal profile did. So I think that now when we land on that page, maybe, the Facebook scrolling sickness that we all have, maybe we'll like start scrolling and liking and being, more engaged with the people that interact with our page, and that can deepen our relationship with them. And maybe we could get some free traffic.
Oh, for sure. And it'll be more similar to like anyone who manages an Instagram account for a business where you flip back and forth between your account and your business's account, and they are entirely separate. They follow different things. They interact with different people. So if you're familiar with that, this new page experience for Facebook is going to be a little less daunting because it's basically taking that format and putting it on Facebook. So yeah, it'll be much easier to interact with the pages you want your page to connect with. So if you have nonprofits that you like to partner with, it's going to be so much easier to interact with them now, which is a really major plus. It's a little weird. It takes a moment to get used to, but I think it's really going to be beneficial in the long run.
So that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, beware that when you go into the page, you'll probably flip over to the page, and then when you leave the page, you'll still be the page, which I only makes like an iota worth of sense even when I say it right now. But just be careful when you're posting. Look at the little circle the image, the profile picture, and make sure that it's your head or whatever your normal profile picture is and not that of the business that you were just on their Facebook page.
Yeah, if you're scrolling through your newsfeed and you're like, wow, I didn't realize I followed this many businesses and no people, you're probably not logged into the profile you want to be logged into.
Yeah. Okay, so any other tricks, tips, thoughts about this? I thought there was something else, but now I can't remember it.
I would say the good news is, again, most of the core content that you're posting, if your page is verified, anything like that, you're going to keep. So you don't have to go through that process again. Your page isn't going to convert and be completely empty. So that's good. big change wise, again, the flipping back and forth between which profile you're basically acting as at the time, the loss of likes is probably the one that I think is going to get most people concerned. And then the different access levels are the big changes we're looking at right now. So
hopefully, though, with the improved newsfeed for the business and with the improved user management capabilities and with the hopefully increased engagement of the people that stick with you, it should repair itself. It's just like initially it's going to be kind of freaky. Well, it is freaky initially.
It's the biggest change that I can think of that Facebook's made to like a core functionality in a really long time.
Yeah, maybe we should have started with that statement. That sounds ominous. Okay.
Because normally it's like little subtle things that you almost don't realize have changed until you're a ways down the road and be like, wait a minute, we didn't used to do it that way. But this time they're kind of changing several things all at once. And so it's exciting. It'll be a little stressful, but it'll all be okay. Like I said, I think engagement's probably going to benefit from this change, especially if you continue to post like the really good content that gets your audience excited and interacting with you anyway.
And then why don't you remind us one more time, like what are some of the things that we should be doing before we flip our page to make sure that everybody has followed and hasn't just liked? Like the people who really want to engage with us they can come with us on this journey of new Facebook pages changes.
Yeah, I would say if you have an email list, send an email. Take a screenshot of where people click to become a follower of your page to make sure that they are, and just give them quick little step-by-step instructions in an email. Explain that, hey, we just want to make sure you keep seeing this content that we know you enjoy. We want to be able to interact with you. Here's the best way to do that. And just let people know. Like, don't panic them. Like, definitely frame it in a, hey, we just want to make sure that we're still popping up and showing you the information you want to know. And let them know how to do that. And I think that'll be really beneficial.
And you could post it on Facebook and then you could like link out to your email as well. So that way you have all the instructions and maybe you don't have to paste them there. That would be okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you necessarily need to start a phone tree to get this done. But, another thing too, though, is if you're having an upcoming event or fundraiser, like take a second and address your audience and like tell them to get their phones out, go to this URL, do this thing. That would be an awesome opportunity to like weave the two together. I feel like we always forget that we have the opportunity to ask people to do additional things when they're at the race or at the event. You know what I mean? We can build our marketing assets while we are having our get-togethers.
Oh, absolutely. We had a season announcement event at the theater a couple of weeks ago and remembered at the end of the event, it's like, oh, well, while you're all here, if you want to keep learning about the things we're doing now that we've told you what our upcoming season is, you can find us on social media. Here are our handles. And did we get a bunch of extra likes from that? No, but we got 10 more than we had before.
Yeah. And 10 is 10.
10 is 10.
Yeah. Hopefully they were follows.
I think most of them were.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and answering all of these questions that I have. And so hopefully you guys have a better grasp on what's going on and you didn't like get lost in all my weird mumbo jumbo questioning. And Elizabeth I can see them actually on her lap. She has some great notes from this conversation that we'll put out on our blog, mayecreate.com, MAYECREATE.com. And she'll put them up there, and we'll also link you over to like the PDF from Facebook that's kind of like a presentation that'll explain this with some pictures too. So if you enjoyed this podcast or if you learned a thing or two, please follow. Like, come hang out with us all the time, again and again, while we sometimes bash Facebook and other times talk about amazing other things. And until next time, go forth and market with purpose.